Hi guys. When you look at the energy wave, you probably have this completely natural question, wow, the energy wave looks like such a serious practice. I wonder, are there any side effects here? Is it possible to somehow harm yourself with this? Let's answer this question in today's video. I'll lay all the cards on the table and honestly tell you about the dark side of the energy wave. When you watch a demonstration video, you think, wow, how do they do that? How does it work for them? I mean, it's obvious that there's an invisible energetic interaction between the two bodies. You can clearly see this precise synchronization. It's obvious how one body responds to the movements of the other. How do they manage to do it like that? How do they do it that way? But I want you to understand that everything you see is a skill. Triggering an energy wave is a skill. Several key steps that you must follow carefully to achieve success. The first and most essential thing for you to focus on is to learn how to be totally, completely, and just as deeply relaxed as humanly possible in every single muscle and fiber of your being, letting go of all tension and stress. And the second vital part of this entire process is to learn how to very subtly and carefully feel every tiny sensation, pulse, and movement that is currently happening deep inside your physical body as you breathe slowly and mindfully, paying close attention to the internal flow. In a state of complete relaxation, we shift our focus of attention into the body. And in this way, we sharpen the acuity of our attention to feel every smallest, slightest process and nuance happening inside our body. Let me give you an example. For instance, right now I can drop myself into a meditative state, enter a meditative trance, and focus on what is happening in my body. And in about 5 to 7 minutes, I will be able to hear my body. Every cubic centimeter, I will hear all the processes happening inside me. I will hear the beating of my heart, the pulsing of blood through the main arteries and veins of my body. I will hear how the bellows of my lungs are working. I will be able to direct my focus of attention to different parts of my body, for example, move it up to my lower back and feel that my lower back is slightly tense. I can bring my focus, care, and love there, and in 2 or 3 minutes of observation, relax my lower back. There will be tingling sensations, the energy channels will start to work, warmth will flow, and there will be a feeling of energy filling the lower back because the lower back has become active. I can direct my focus of attention to any other area where there is tension, and by observing that area, relax it. And so, in 10 to 15 minutes of such thoughtful, targeted meditation, I completely relax my body, and my body becomes like an antenna. It begins to listen. Everything that happens around me, everything that happens inside becomes incredibly perceptive. Do you understand? And this is the state of a master. It is in this state that I interact with other people, which is why I can clearly read their requests and can even transmit this state to another person. When you learn to maintain such bodily hypersensitivity, you enter the state of a master and can do incredible things with your energy. But now let's return to ordinary life and imagine an average, everyday person. An ordinary average person is extremely tense because we are excellently taught to tense up from early childhood, and we are practically champions when it comes to tension. The average person is someone who is in a constant state of background stress. This stress is no longer analyzed or understood because for them it has become a normal state. And in this state of stress, naturally, he does not feel his own body. And this average person may find themselves in difficult life situations, and the lack of bodily sensitivity helps them get through these situations. Do you understand? He may live in a relationship that hasn't worked for a long time, a relationship where there has been no love for a long time, a relationship where everything is very complicated, nothing can be fixed anymore, the point of no return has long since passed, but he still stays in this relationship because his bodily sensitivity is turned off. Or, for example, he might work at a job he hasn't liked for a long time or even already hates. But he still goes to that office, keeps doing it on autopilot because his bodily sensitivity is turned off. It's very easy to turn off bodily sensitivity. It's perfectly done with the help of alcohol, marijuana, nicotine, lack of sleep, overworking, or constant background stress. It's very easy to turn off bodily sensitivity. Now let's imagine that this person has become interested in bodily practices. In fact, it doesn't have to be just with an energy wave. Any systematic and regular engagement in bodily practices restores sensitivity. He might take up yoga or breathing exercises or free diving. In 6 months, he will get his body back. But the energy wave, it restores bodily sensitivity faster than any other practice. After just a few sessions, you begin to sense with your body everything happening inside and everything happening outside. And this is where a moment of danger arises. Because when you regain bodily sensitivity, you start to understand the language of psychosomatics, how your body communicates with you, what it is telling you. What is it signaling to you through symptoms? You can actually learn a lot about your life. And you realize that these are relationships that are already over. This is a job I no longer want to go to. This is a lifestyle that I already, well, that's it. No, I need something different. I need renewal. And that's why it sometimes happens that a person comes, for example, for 2 days straight, they work nonstop with their body. And after 2 days, they return to life with heightened bodily sensitivity. They start to feel everything. And they come home and realize that this hasn't been their home for a long time. There's nothing left here. They're gone. Or they come to work on Monday. They open the office door like this and just run into concrete. And nothing lets them in there because the body feels everything. You've regained bodily sensitivity. And the body screams, no, I don't want to be here. Not here. I haven't wanted to be here for a long time. And that's exactly why we warn students many times. I say this constantly during the training process, guys. No major or drastic changes for at least 2 months after finishing the course. So that these changes aren't made on emotion. A side effect of the energy wave is the return of bodily sensitivity. When your body starts to feel, you become bilingual. You know how to think with your head, with logic, but you also know how to feel subconsciously through sensations. And these are 2 languages. They are not mutually exclusive, but complementary. And learning to feel with your body and think with your head and to speak equally well in both of these languages is actually a really cool challenge. And those people who have mastered this achieve completely different results in life. Their lives unfold differently. Their relationships develop differently. They have many times more honesty in their lives. They make significantly fewer mistakes. They have much more energy because they do not betray their bodies. They don't betray it, you see. They are always listening to it. They use their body as a tool. It's my antenna, it's my detector. So, when we talk about the side effects and dangers of the energy wave, there is a danger that your life might start to change. There will be much more truth in your life, but the truth is not everyone wants change. Most people are afraid of change. I don't want change. I don't need a body that feels. I don't want change so much that I'll keep drinking, keep smoking, keep overworking, keep endlessly scrolling through social media until I lose all sensitivity and keep stressing out. Because it's easier to live that way. It really is easier to live like that. The vast majority of people choose this easy route. Yes, this isn't a story about happiness, not even close. Yes, this isn't a story about impressive results. Yes, this isn't a story about becoming extraordinary, about uncovering your natural talents and realizing them. This is a story about living an ordinary life. But for ordinary people, this really works. Ordinary people don't need change. There is that minority, about 20% of people, who really need change, who are interested in it, who live for it. If you are among those 20%, the seekers, the curious, the active people with an entrepreneurial mindset, and I want to clarify, an entrepreneurial mindset isn't just about money or business. It's more of an inner feeling in general. I take initiative in my life. I take initiative with myself. I create myself. In that case, bodily sensitivity will be very useful to you. If you belong to the 80% of people who don't need change, then really be careful, guys. Be careful with this practice. Because in order to launch an energy wave at the level you see in the demonstration videos, you will need the most subtle bodily sensitivity. You will start to sense all the processes happening within you, right here. This will transform your life. Because a lot more truth will be added to your life. Think about that. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I will be happy to answer. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel.